Hello everyone, this is Neil Mayers and welcome to the newest edition of On Point. Today we're going to focus on job seekers, and in all likelihood we're talking to someone who has recently decided to become a job seeker for one reason or another. The recentness of this decision probably has you trying to calculate your next move, but you're probably not entirely sure what that move should be. Now, in an earlier module, we discussed two things that you should do early in the search process that are going to help you. Top 10 accomplishments list and a target company list. We're going to focus on the top 10 list today by first of all defining it, telling you how to do one, and then showing you how valuable it can be. So your first task is a pleasant one. I'm going to ask you to put a piece of paper in your pocket or set up a notes page on your smartphone, and over the next day or two, make a list of the 10 things you've done at work that you're the proudest of. Try also when you're doing it not to process it too much and let your mind and heart take you to what those biggest things are and how you define them. As you're doing this, realize that I'm talking about finite things that you've done or something that has a beginning, an end, and a result. These are specific accomplishments like the team that you hired a couple years ago to staff up that new market or facility, as opposed to something more general like I'm good at or I like hiring people. Now, what am I talking about specifically? I'm asking you to make a list of the things that you celebrated about your career, like a project you accomplished, like crossing the Delaware, and that's me, by the way, third from the right on the boat. Seriously, it could be anything like an award or recognition you've won, a business or group that you turned around and made profitable or growing, a specific business measure or performance record you've attained, a perfect attendance record, an impossible task you successfully completed, a big idea you came up with that worked, or a negative customer or teammate that you were able to win over. Remember that this is your list. What makes you proud or happy, not what you think somebody else wants to hear. Now, to help you with this, as you develop your list, you're probably going to notice that there are dimensions that make your selection stand out versus other things you've done, such as their overall impact in terms of what it is you did or who you did it with or to, the difficulty or complexity of the circumstances that made that impact particularly meaningful to you, visibility or how visible this impact was to you and to the people around you that were important to you, and last but not least, that the result had particular meaning or spoke to your value system when you did it. So now that you have a working list, what are you going to do with it? Well, the very first thing is you're going to post it at your desk. You're going to read it every day when you sit down to work, and you're going to remember that these are now historical facts that you should remember and be proud of every day. Nothing that's happened since or will happen in the future can ever change these. Take a moment to celebrate them every day. In addition, you're going to want to make sure that most or all of these items are included someplace on your resume and LinkedIn profile. Thirdly, you should have these in your notes when you interview and look for opportunities to bring them up. And lastly, a keyword search for new product launch or sales awards, such as something that was on your list, could provide some interesting results for you when you're looking for job opportunities online. But perhaps the most important use will be in helping you understand what your next job should have you doing. Look carefully at your list and compare the entries you've made, and for each item, think about what you're doing in each. Are you analyzing, teaching, winning, and who's with you when you're doing it? Then, after you've done that, compare what these things you're doing have in common and what they have in common with each other. The goal is for your next job to be a place where you can do all of these things and you have the chance to do them often. I hope this was helpful. If there are other topics that you'd like to see information on, like the ones you see on this page, send me a request and you could see it on a future On Point module, or I'd be happy to talk about custom programs for you and your company. If you think this information could help you or somebody you know, hit share and forward it to that person, and to get notified when we post future content, hit subscribe. As always, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on another edition of On Point.